Alright boys, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of F1 2021 My Team here on the channel. Today we have the second race of Season 2. If you did miss the last episode, make sure you go and check that one out. The first race of the new season in Bahrain with our brand new teammate Nico Rosberg. Brilliant race, go and check that out. I do just want to show you this. I should have showed this in the last episode. This is the progress chart. You can see how much everyone has lost compared to the end of last season. There's a few teams though who have improved from the end of last season, including us, Alpine, and Aston Martin being the least hit by the regulations and stuff. This is of course after the regulation changes. You see Alfa Romeo took a big dip. Haas pretty much stayed the same. Red Bull took a massive dip, put them on level with Aston Martin. Ferrari and McLaren around the same area as well. Which shows on the performance chart. I just wanted to show that little chart there so you could see, obviously we had those engine regulations come in last season, and that chart there just shows how much it did actually impact each team in terms of performance. So this season, like I mentioned boys, I do think it's going to be a mad one. If you saw the podium on the last race, it looks like this season is shaping up to be a crazy one. You can see we're actually above McLaren now in the vehicle comparison chart. So that is very good to see. Let's get into qualifying at the Spanish Grand Prix. Let's see if our car can be any better around Spain than it was around Bahrain. I mean, we obviously had a good result in the race in Bahrain, but like I mentioned in that last episode, the car just feels awful. And go back and watch the last episode if you haven't seen it, where I explain more why the car feels terrible. So, getting into the hot lap now on the quali. Yeah, when I ride curbs, boys, it literally feels like the engine just cuts out. It's so weird. It's such a bizarre feeling. And obviously, I hooked the curb on the straight down into turn 1 to get the best entry to it as well. So it's not good feeling like you're losing power on the main straight. But anyway, I can't even remember where we qualify in this session, so it's going to be brand new to me as it is going to be brand new to you guys. So yeah, let's just wait and see where we do end up finishing. We go off into the gravel, a very difficult section of the track right there. I did feel like if I hooked, if I didn't open up the steering like that and go into the gravel, we would have lost the rear end there at a massive snap of oversteer. The track sort of cambers down on the inside through those two corners there, so it's very easy to lose the rear like that through those corners, and we obviously go off into the gravel to save it from spinning and going into the wall. Hopefully on this lap we can hit it better. We get a better exit through this turn, completely flat out with 2/10 up on our last lap already, because we managed to take that flat out last lap. We had to lift a little because our entry was a bit weird. But heading downhill now, third gear, short shift to fourth on the exit. Use a bit of the curb on the exit there. Now, can we keep it in the track this time round? We're going to get on the throttle and we can. We managed to keep it in the track out of the gravel. And we are 8.9 tenths up nearly on our last lap, and it's going up and up and up into the seconds. Breaking at 100 meter board for the hairpin down into second gear, short shift to third on the exit. A little bit wide on the exit there, but up into fifth, down into fourth, and you just literally throw it round this corner as hard as you can. Just throw it, come off the throttle, down to fourth, and just throw it round there. Heading into the chicane now. Very difficult chicane in my opinion. I'm very bad at this chicane, and I hope they don't reprofile Spain to be like real life. Because in real life there's a massive sausage curb on the exit curb of the chicane, so that would make the chicane even harder, because as you can see every time I do it, I run wide onto that exit curb to get a good entry for the straight. So I hope they don't reprofile Spain.
Seconds left in the session.
Alright boys, sorry about that. The audio just cut out for a second. Yeah, the house phone started ringing, so I just had to cut out that section of the audio. Very unfortunate moment there. But hopefully you did stick around and didn't think the video was broken. Click off it. I'll probably put a message on the screen anyway. But boys, this is our last lap of the qualifying session. You see quali is now complete. We're in P19 currently behind George Russell, Nicholas Latifi. I don't know what's going on with us, boys. Such a stinky qualifying. Can we improve on this lap though? We've gone green in sector 2, but we're red in sector 1. And coming through the final sector now, the delta's going to be up by a tenth. Can we keep it? Can we keep the speed through the chicane? We bumped the curb off the chicane there, but we're going to be 3 tenths up heading towards the finish line. It's gone back down to 2.8 now. Can this take us out to P20 into P16 and get us through to Q2? Let's find out as we check out the leaderboard here. Nico Rosberg qualifying P11 there in Q1, and we're actually P18. So we're going to start the race at the back of the grid pretty much, P18. Stinky qualifying session again, boys. I don't know what's wrong with our car. We just can't get it set up in quali. Literally, I just can't put a qualifying lap together. You saw in Bahrain as well, but hopefully the race is better like it was in Bahrain.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat this weekend. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's start with Alfa Romeo. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Ricciardo, Lando Norris and Verstappen, Sainz, Vettel, Perez and Lance Stroll, Gasly, Rosberg, Fernando Alonso and Tsunoda, Ocon, Giovinazzi, Nicholas Latifi, the owner driver, Tigtum, Russell, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, boys, there is the starting grid. We're going to go with the one-stop strategy yet again, like we did last week in Bahrain, and hopefully the strategy can pay off like it did in Bahrain with the one-stop strategy as we wait for the lights to count down. The two makes on pole and second. It is lights out and away we go in the Spanish Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc in P3 there, and Lando Norris, I do think, in P4. So clearly, the vehicle comparison chart isn't that accurate with the two makes, or two McLaren, sorry, being P4 and P5. Even though our car is supposedly better than theirs. Nico Rosberg down into P14 off the stars. We're up into P15. What a start from us, making up a few places. You know, we're always good off the start into turn 1. We always make up a lot of places, racing wheel to wheel now with Esteban Ocon, trying to stay ahead of Ocon there as we come into the downhill section. We've got our teammate Nico in front of us, obviously going to leave a lot of space when we come to approach Nico, and hopefully don't cause a collision with our teammate. That is the last thing we want with our teammate on the second race of the season as we come through the little windy section now, down to 6th gear for this straight. It's so difficult, boys, this car. I swear to God, like, I just really don't like the car this year. We're going to send it down the inside on Nico into the hairpin, but he gets to the outside there, but we're going to hug the inside, bump the curb as much as we can. This is Rosberg's perspective of that overtake from us. As you can see, down into the hairpin, he sees us on the inside, gives us a lot of room up the inside, and then goes around the outside here as we jump the curb up the inside and just make a nice little pass there. So we swap places. Obviously in Bahrain, I overtook Nico, but then gave the position back towards the end of the race because he had more speed. So we'll see how it turns out in this race, or if we stay like this. Obviously team orders you can't really do on this, which I think this should be a mechanic for team orders. You know, I feel like if you press RB or bring up the MFD, you should be able to say like, teammate overtake me, or teammate let me overtake you. Do you know what I mean? Heading into the hairpin now, we go very slow through there, and we give Rosberg a lot of space because we went wide on the hairpin, so we gave Rosberg a lot of space with the inside, so he could overtake us there, like you see. But in doing that, we've actually lost a place to Esteban Ocon now as well, so maybe we should have just bullied our way back onto the track. But then it would have cost Nico a lot of time in the race. And, you know, I'm a team player. I want the team to do well, obviously, because it's my team. It's not like I'm racing for somebody else's team and I'm a driver who needs to do well. It's my team, so I want the team to do well. Even if that means us finishing bottom and Nico finishing world champion, do you know what I mean? I'd take that because at least, like, someone in our car has won the race. Down into P17 now, Antonio Giovinazzi overtaking us around the inside of this flat-out right-hander, as you can see. So a bit of a stinky move from us there, boys. Ever since we let Nico past us and Ocon, we just haven't been able to catch them again. You see, Ocon is now 6.3 seconds ahead, and it's only lap 6 of 33. I don't know where, like, all my speed is gone. Like, I just don't understand it, boys. Hopefully, there'll be more races later in the season that's more suited to our car or something, because right now the car just feels awful. I feel terrible driving it. I feel like I can't put a lap together. We've got Max Verstappen now behind us. Obviously he's on the two-stop strategy. He's already pit for medium tyres, and heading into turn 1 we're going to go 3 wide. Giovinazzi, Perez, and us. Perez just coming out of the pits there. Giovinazzi very aggressive on the exit, and we go wide round this corner, which allows Max Verstappen to come up the inside of us, and we lose another place there to Max Verstappen. Giovinazzi got so aggressive into turn 1 there. I thought he was going to cause a collision with him and Perez. Like, just absolutely wild from Giovinazzi. I think this is a replay now as we see into turn 1. Giovinazzi just absolutely sending it, and then Perez nearly knocking us, so we go wide over the curb, which sends us wide into the right-hander, which gives Verstappen an easy pass up the inside of us, as you can see. But we're just going to try and stick with this pack, boys. The Red Bull is obviously a very fast car. We're going to try and stick with them, use DRS to pull us along. We've got Seb Vettel behind us as well, obviously the winner of last week's race. Seb, he's on a flying charge as well to try and get back on the podium, get another win in. Maybe a little bit of contact with Max Verstappen there, and in checking if the car was okay. Seb Vettel makes a move up the inside. Nice little overtake from Seb there. You know, I was trying to pull up the MFD and see if we had any damage on the car, but in doing so, it let Vettel get past us. And now you see just one little moment, boys, and then the car in front is gone. Verstappen is now 1.5 seconds ahead, and he was right in front of us a second ago into that turn. Do you know what I mean? It's so difficult. But we see Seb Vettel now making a move on Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi's tyres have obviously fell off because we've caught Giovinazzi so easily now. He was miles ahead. Seb Vettel making a move on Giovinazzi there. I do believe Giovinazzi started on these medium tyres. He comes across to block us. Very weird line to take into this corner, because the outside line is definitely better through this corner. And Giovinazzi actually bumps us there off the inside. I thought we'd left him enough space, but clearly not for this idiot, because he decides to cut in on us and you know, cause a bit of damage. Carlos Sainz behind Giovinazzi now. He's looking to make a charge towards us down the main street. Seb Vettel is now 5 seconds ahead of us, boys. You see just how slow we really are. There's a yellow flag though in the section in front of us. This is on board with Lando, I think, or Danny Rick. It might be. I think it might be Lando. And you've got the Valtteri Bottas in front of him. You've got Valtteri Bottas' Mercedes in front, and you can't even see it because of all the smoke in his face there. Bottas' engine has gone on the second race. Now, if you do remember, Bottas' engine went on the first race of the season as well, in Bahrain. So that is 2 back-to-back DNFs for Valtteri Bottas, last year's world champion on our series, you know. So not the ideal start for Bottas if he's trying to retain that world championship title. 2 DNFs, and now he's relying on Lewis Hamilton to bring him some points to Mercedes, because if you remember, Bottas DNF last week and Hamilton finished P12. So Mercedes have no points. So can Lewis Hamilton, who I believe is actually in P1 at the moment, can Lewis Hamilton bring home a bag of points for Mercedes? We'll have to see towards the end of the race. But we are now on our hard tyres. I do believe we have pit, and the safety car is out, and Lance Stroll is a 5-second penalty. Such a bizarre incident. Let's see why that is and why it came out of nowhere. This is Lance Stroll, and it looks like the other Aston Martin, Seb Vettel, is spun there, and Leclerc goes into the back of him. Let's see, what is Seb thinking here, boys? Oh, he's made a big collision with someone there. And this is Nico Rosberg around the outside, picking up 3 places there. But Seb Vettel, I don't know what he was thinking there. This is on board with Lewis Hamilton. We were just talking about Hamilton, now he needs to bring the home the points for Mercedes, and he's made a big crash there with Seb Vettel. I don't know what Seb was thinking. And Lewis dives into the pits to get a new front wing in. What a bizarre incident there. Seb Vettel, what is he thinking? This is a replay now on board with Seb as he's coming through the few corners before it. And as he's going to come down towards this downhill section on the right hand there, you can see now he just completely loses the rear end and spins off the track, boys. But instead of just rejoining the track safely, maybe going straight past, like straight up to the chicane, keep driving forward here, he decides to spin his car all the way around, do a 180, and join the track at the apex of the chicane. I don't know what he was thinking there. And you see Charles Leclerc crashes into him, Lance Stroll crashes into him. There's a Renault car behind, or an Alpine car behind. There's a bird's eye view. Seb Vettel, what is he thinking? Causing a big collision there. Such a weird incident as Lewis dives into the pits. Hopefully for Mercedes that doesn't ruin Lewis's race too much. But now safety car is absolutely massive for us, because as you can see, Lance Stroll is the car in front of us, and Lance Stroll is 19 seconds ahead of us, boys, and he does have a 5-second penalty. Vettel also with a 5-second penalty, and I believe Charles Leclerc might have a 5-second penalty as well. Lewis Hamilton boxes for soft tyres now, which is a weird choice. You know, we've got quick maths, 24 laps left in this race. No, we don't. 14 laps, is it? Bro, I don't even know. Don't even ask me to do maths. Seb Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Stroll there with 5-second time penalties. Yeah, we have a certain amount of laps left in this race. And, you know, soft tyres, I don't think they'll last 13 laps. It is 13 laps, or 14 if you include you know, the lap 20, but we are behind the safety car, so obviously Lewis is going to try and keep those tyres. But Seb Vettel is out of the session now, as you've just seen there from the FIA. We couldn't actually see what happened to Seb. He must have just retired the car after the damage he took from the crash with Lewis. Now, on the restart, our tyres are freezing cold. We get no traction out of the final chicane there, down the main street. You can see in the bottom right, our tyres are so cold. It's so difficult to warm up hard tyres. I find it so difficult to get heat into hard tyres. Heading down to turn 1, we've got Lewis Hamilton up the inside of us on soft tyres. I'm not even going to defend that. Lewis Hamilton in a Mercedes on softs, you know, when we're on freezing cold hards. I'm not going to defend it. Giovinazzi makes a move up the inside though. Absolutely hate this guy. Hopefully we can get the position back. Bit wild trying to break the toe there and get back behind him. Just, yeah, hopefully we can make that position back on Giovinazzi, because I don't like this guy. You know, he's just such an irrelevant driver on the grid. We're in the Alfa Romeo sandwich here. We've got Giovinazzi in front and Nicholas Latifi behind. And if Latifi tries to overtake us here, boys, I'm going to spin him out and just completely ruin his race and our race, because I'm not getting overtaken by Nicholas Latifi. I'm definitely not getting overtaken by Dan Ticktum if he manages to catch us. But heading into the chicane deep on the brakes there from way downtown, trying to send a move on Giovinazzi there. And we actually do make the pass after running wide on the exit of the chicane. Now, I think that might be an illegal overtake, but the game didn't tell me to give it back. I was prepared to just give the position back, but the game didn't tell me to, so, you know, we don't care. Lap 33 of 33, Daniel Ricciardo takes the checkered flag, just as he did in Monza at the weekend. Daniel Ricciardo with his second race win there in the last 5 days, I want to say. I can't do maths, boys. I can't lie to you. But let's see who else got on the podium for this race. Seb Vettel obviously can't get back-to-back podiums because he's retired. Bottas retired as well. Let's see if Lewis was able to recover his race. Fernando Alonso getting driver of the day though. Fernando Alonso, I do believe, was on the podium last race in Bahrain. I want to say it was Vettel, Alonso and Leclerc on the podium last race. Daniel Ricciardo on the podium this race. That looks like Sergio Perez in P3. And in P2, we can't see his car yet. It's going to be Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly in that AlphaTauri taking P2 in this race. So what a race from Pierre. We'll see the standards in a moment to see just why Fernando Alonso got driver of the day, where he did come up from. We'll also see, it was the other way around, sorry, Perez P2 and Pierre P3. So we'll see in a moment where our teammate Nico Rosberg finished this race. Can he bring home some points for the team? Obviously, he made that triple overtake after the collision between Vettel, Hamilton and Leclerc and Stroll. So he's obviously made up a lot of places there behind the safety car. It just depends if he could get some heat into those hard tyres behind the safety car for the restart, so he didn't lose too many places on the restart. But one guy we did try and pick up as our teammates, Pierre Gasly, finishing on the podium there. Nico Rosberg, P6, up from P12 into P6. Fernando Alonso from P13 to P5. So Nico bringing home some solid points for the team yet again in P8. We finished just outside the points after Charles Leclerc takes a 5-second penalty. We finished like 2 seconds behind him, I do think, after that 5-second penalty. Very unfortunate for us not to get into the points there, but from P18 up into P11, it's an alright race. I just didn't trust the car whatsoever around Spain, but Nico obviously made the car work a lot better than us. So Nico Rosberg, boys, what a pickup that was as our second teammate. We can see the driver standings now. Nico Rosberg is in P4, we're in P10 in the driver standings. Fernando Alonso actually leads the driver standing, boys. McLaren leading the constructors with Alpine in P2 in the constructors. What a wild season. Can Fernando Alonso get the drivers championship and win the constructors with Alpine? Would be absolutely crazy if he could. We're going to pick up a few upgrades now before the next race of the season, which is going to be Monaco, which I will warn you, boys, it is probably the last time you'll see the Monaco Grand Prix in this season, maybe until the last season. You know, as you know, on this game, you can only pick 20 races to do in a season. There are now 22 tracks on this game after Portimao got added yesterday. And if you haven't seen my Portimao video, make sure you check that out. I do a track guide and setup video on Portimao, the new Grand Prix on the game. Very, very fun circuit to drive. So I definitely want to put Portimao into our season next season. But also China is on the game. I would like to put China in there, but I don't know what other race I'd take out to put China in. So if you have any suggestions in the comments below, boys, any races we should take out that you just don't think make an entertaining video. Of course, Monaco, you'll see the Monaco GP in the next episode. It's not very entertaining, but you should still watch it though, because I'll try and make it as entertaining as possible. But from a strictly race point of view, it's not very entertaining. Do you know what I mean? So I know it's Monaco, it's the staple of Formula 1. You know, everyone thinks of the Monaco Grand Prix, but fuck it, do you know what I mean? Like, it's shit. It doesn't make a good video. It doesn't make a good race. Like, wherever you qualify, and I'm going to qualify at the back anyway because I'm shit around Monaco. Wherever you qualify, you can't overtake. It's so stupid. Like, it's such a difficult, stupid circuit. Anyway, boys, if you did enjoy this video, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below, what are you thinking of this season so far? Do you think Nico Rosberg can be world champion? I do. Leave a comment down below of just anything you want to comment about. And yeah, man, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the vibes. I'll catch us next time. Take it easy.